Alright people, welcome back. Today I gotta take care of this like 9-month-old fuel that I got sitting in the nude lude here. We got the engine in on the last one and got it started, and it started up no problem, but you know, when you tried to rev it, it broke up like crazy. So first thing I'm gonna take care of is this old fuel. It's fairly simple. We just gotta get down underneath the vehicle and actually undo that 17mm bolt in there. Just let it drain out. I got a few buckets over here. I got a 5-gallon bucket, and then these two, like, I don't know, probably 2-gallon buckets there. But I got about 3/4 of a tank. So these rear stands are about 1 inch lower just to help that drain out that back corner there. So let's get under there and break that loose. There we go. Let's see how bad this rushes. Okay. Not too bad. And go. Alright, very minimal spillage. Take a good look. Man, that fuel does not look good at all. It still started. The main problem is probably just the fact that it's sat, so the octane level is probably just low. It could probably work in a normal 87 octane car with some octane booster, but for my application it's just not going to work right now. But so I got to figure out something to do with this fuel. I don't think it looks too terrible, you know. Ugh, doesn't smell great. So now that we got all the fuel drained out, I'm gonna get back under there and I'm gonna put the bolt in, and then I'm gonna put a couple gallons of fresh fuel, and we're gonna see how much of a difference that makes on how it runs, if any. So, well, so far so good. It's going in there nice and slowly, and we have no leaks underneath. So, drain plug should be holding. That's good. Now, if this could only hurry up. Throw the cap on. We got about 2 gallons of fresh fuel in there, 91 octane, unfortunately. Alright people, so we're gonna see what the difference just fresh fuel has made, and hooking up an O2 sensor with having that bottom part of the header hooked up. So see if she revs out at all, what she sounds like. Ready? Here goes nothing. That started up nicely. Started up real nice. Listen, it sort of has a mist to it. See if it revs out at all. Much more responsive. That's much better than the last time. Yeah, that old fuel was definitely terrible. I'm sure the O2 sensor plays a factor too, but now it feels like I need to do some plugs and some other things. I don't know. Alright, real quick, I just want to show you guys what I was watching on the tach last time I fired it up. There we go. This lock cylinder ain't the greatest. And just show you how it was jumping around, and then we'll go around and try and figure it out from there. So let's fire it up. Started. Let's see if it'll do that. Alright, so that could be quite a few things. Honestly, most people are going to go directly for the distributor. Realistically, what I'm going to do first is, since I just threw all this together, I'm going to go through and check all my grounds again. So maybe I got something a little loose, and when I go to put a heavy load on it, it's just going to cut out like that. So I'm going to mess with a few grounds, and then we'll try starting that up, see if that does anything. And then from there, I also have another coil I'll throw on, and then a second distributor I can try. So we'll just work our way through it, but I honestly, I think it's going to be a grounding issue, more than likely. we got problems. Alright, so somehow we're managing to just decline on how she's running. So I went ahead and popped this distributor off, well, the cap off real quick to take a look at it. And I don't know how well you can see on the camera, but if I can catch the perfect angle, maybe, just maybe, you can see that white corrosion that's on the contacts. This is an old cap and all that. I don't think that's really enough to be the full contributing factor. I'm gonna put the coil on from the dead lube and just see, you know, because realistically this thing ran just fine when it was in the dead lube. It should run just fine now. All I've done is change the timing, blah 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 blah, all that stuff. And before you guys say I just blew up my motor, I have not. It is just an electronical issue, so let's fix that. But I'm gonna clean these contacts up with a little bit of sandpaper just to make that help, and then probably leave the rotor how it is, and then swap that coil out. Yeah, I'm doing two things at once, so I don't really know which one it is, but hopefully it just clears up completely. We're gonna fire it up now and see if it's getting better or if it's going with the trend of getting worse on me. Let's find out. Ooh, I hear a strong V8 revving in the background. Whoa, I lost the ring. What the crap? This thing don't sound good at all. Right, before I start it up again, I just want to show you I did change a few things since the last time I have taken care. I cleaned up a couple of the spots over here that had a little bit of rust on that ground, and then came over here, made sure this was all squared away and tightened. Then there is the other ground for the harness that goes on this water neck down here, and that was actually about like, it really wasn't that loose, but it was a good like full turn loose. So I got that tightened up, and I cleaned off the corrosion on the contacts in the cap and the rotor, and I swapped out this coil for the one off the dead lube. So if this works and it runs fine, I don't know which thing fixed it. It's probably, you know, the grounding. Doesn't really matter. Alright, we're gonna see if any of those things I just did made a difference. Maybe it still won't start. I don't know. I mean, I've always made fun of people talking about the Prelude curse, but maybe, just maybe, I've been lucky my whole time and I'm being hit with it now. But really, realistically, I think it's just growing pains. You know, part of the issues with swapping a motor in with old harness and shit like that. So let's just see. You know, let's Marty McFly this and hit our head on it and just try it. Fuel pump's kicking on. That's a good sign. That's great. Fired right up. Hell yeah. Alright. I still don't have the whole exhaust hooked up. It's just the full length of the header. But it is, you know, just like an inch away from the converter. So it is partially going through that. So it's pretty quiet right now. Doesn't sound bad. I do have a check engine light now. Finally. Interesting. That, you know, that might be for that lower O2 sensor. I don't know. I think it seems to be idling okay though. Let's try revving her out. Alright. Revved up a little bit. That's much better. That's much better. It's definitely got a miss at idle, so we'll work out the other little growing pains. But right now, as far as bad grounds and all that's concerned, I got that taken care of. I just need to button up the rest of the exhaust and pretty much go from there. But let's see what it sounds like revving up out here. Right. Got a little sticky throttle there. Yeah, she's a bit loud. I need to hook up the rest of the exhaust because I'm eager to hear what this guy sounds like back here. What was it? I can't remember what brand it is again. I don't know. Forza tuning. We'll have to see. what that thing actually sounds like. It's got freaking dirt in the chamber. But otherwise, it's not getting hot. It hasn't died on itself yet. I think we've worked out some of those growing pains. I thought I was going into this video just swapping out some fuel, firing it up, and throwing it together and taking it for a ride. That was not the case. I had to go through some growing pains. And realistically, this is very common for a lot of people who are going to be swapping stuff. You know, it's easy to forget to tighten a ground all the way, or, you know, miss a ground entirely. Or, you know, even some corrosion can cause that, you know. But I will say, I don't know exactly which thing that I repaired that caused it to come back to life, but I did repair this ground. I tightened the ground over there, I cleaned up the distributor, and I swapped another coil on, you know. But what I didn't do is spend any money. I did just what I already had. So, and that's really what I suggest when you're going around this case. Like, if you got a second car that was the running car and you're swapping the motor and another thing, you pretty much got double parts. So go through your parts, use them before you waste all your money and whatnot. And that's pretty much what I did. Now, for certain, I do need a new cap and rotor on there, and I should swap out the spark plugs. The wires are fine, but what I did find out for certain is my distributor isn't bad. So that's gonna wrap it up today. We went from running, just thinking we needed fresh fuel, to not starting at all, to back to running again. And it's pretty smooth. It does have a little bit of a miss, and it's finally throwing a check engine light. So that's good. You know, I'm pretty confident to say that it was that ground actually at the water neck that was the problem the whole time. I think I kind of wasted my time going around, but what I didn't do is waste money. I only wasted my time. So besides that, $2 in gas, we got it running right. Now I just need to finish up the other stuff. I gotta put the driver's side CV axle on, I gotta swap the slave cylinder, and I gotta rob a control arm off of the dead lube for this real quick. But after that, in this next video, I'll get that done, and we'll take it for our first test drive. Hopefully we don't get pulled over going around the neighborhood, because I haven't gone through emissions or done plates yet. But that's gonna do it for today. Until next time, I'm Dan, the Prelude Dude, and this is the Parts Guys. Peace.